Kelly, good question. Yes, indeed. You and others were asking about this. The Bible does say that Christians will face the judgment seat, right? Yes, one translation states that clearly in 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 10. We must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ. But let's take a look at the original language of the Koine Greek, and then we're going to find out that word for judgment in that translation is transliterated. It's spelled, if we were going to put it in English, B-E-M-A. Bema seat, the Bema seat. And that is literally meaning an elevated seat. And in the context that Paul is presenting it, it's used in the sports term. You see, in those days, in the sports crazy world of Paul's time, there were all sorts of games, the Olympic Games, the Athenian Games, the Peloponnesian Games, number of them. And you would usually find in the stadium, at the equivalent of what we would call the 50-yard line, a special box, and there would be a seat of honor there. That's for the governor of the game, could even be the emperor. He was there to give out the awards of those that had excelled in those athletic contests. You see, he gave awards. He didn't punish those who had done less. That is the connotation given when Paul talks about this. So you can actually have, and some translations do say this, we will all appear before the reward seat of Christ. So what are we being judged on? In that passage, it says the things we've done, whether good or bad. But mind you, that word for bad in the Greek is talking about value. Phaulos is the word. What value is what you're doing, how you're serving? Well, 1 Corinthians chapter 3 talks about the value of those gifts given to the faithful worker for Christ. Gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, based upon your service, okay? What was your motive for doing what you were doing? That could be one reason for the value of those gifts given to you. The second is 1 Corinthians chapter 4, the first 5 verses. What was your faithfulness? Did you stay through thick and thin in serving whatever you were doing before the Lord? Now remember, some people think, well, I don't do as much as that person. I don't have the opportunities that one, or the money that one. No. 2 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 12 says, you are only accountable for what's been given you in this life, all right? Don't have to worry about other people. Remember, Matthew chapter 10 and verse 42 tells us that even a cup of cold water given in the name of the Lord, you will not lose your reward. Luke 14 talks about the reward at the resurrection of the righteous given to those who may have served anonymously here on earth, those serving the Lord with no recompense whatsoever. So the judgment that you're asking about is the rewards given for faithful service by the Christians here on earth in this life.